Tabitha Brown, who some of us just got introduced to in the Shy. This is a picture of Tabitha. And wait till I show y'all a picture of Tabitha before she went natural. Anyway, Wendy Williams went on her show to call out Tabitha Brown for something she's doing that is something that a union does together. Let me let y'all take a listen to the clip. And after Wendy is done running her fat lip, you're going to hear Tabitha Brown's response to what Wendy had to say. Here we go. And oh, by the way, this is my the fuck of the week. So let me give y'all the intro.
Hey, little girl, you're so cute. Is your mommy home?
Bitch, I am my own mommy, the fuck? Bitch, you just heard me. The fuck you got going on? Your ugly ass milk trying to poison me and shit. I don't know where the fuck you got that milk from. Definitely ain't I no fucking cow.
Yeah. Wendy Williams, you made my the fuck of the week. Here we go.
There's this woman, her name is Tabitha Brown. Oh, you know her? Clap if you know her. Okay, good. I don't know her. Well, she's an influencer and she's saying that she's retiring her husband. He's been a police officer for 15 years and he wants to live out his dreams. Take a look.
I have said to him, babe, it's time. It's time. It's time for him to dream again. It's time for him to think like a child and think, ooh, when I grow up, what do I want to be? And it's something else. It's time for a new journey, a new chance at life, right? And God has blessed us. He has blessed me that I can retire my husband.
Nope. I was married to one of those. You know, I make the money and so on and so forth. Go live your dreams, buy a business, you know, stay with me, but go. You see how that turned out. I predict that this marriage is going to be on real rocky ground in a moment.
Pain this woman must be in. Wendy, the pain you must be in to feel this way, and I'm so sorry. But listen, let me tell you this. 23 years I've been with my husband. Yes. Broke for a very long time together. Struggled for a very long time together. Succeeded for the last couple of years together, right? My husband took a job in agreement with me. He took a job 15 years ago to help support my dream. And I know you may not know what that looks like in a genuine place, right? But this was an agreement that my husband and I had. And I told him 15 years ago, oh, babe, in 5 years, I'll be able to take you out of there so then you can pursue one of your dreams that you love. Right now, I was his dog in the fight, okay? And he believed in me. And we did it together for the last 15 years. I did every year with him at LAPD, and he did every year with me with rejection and no's in this entertainment industry, right? However, God has blessed me. He has allowed me to manifest. I've been praying this for a very long time, and it has now come to pass. That is the power of God. It's also the power of allowing God to be first in your marriage, okay? And that is how it remains successful. We keep him first. He is first in our marriage, not.
Y'all forgive. I'm laughing at the clap back. Literally, how do you come back from that? So, ladies and gentlemen, let me break this down for you. How the hell does it look that Wendy Williams failed marriage, her persona and Tabitha's persona are polar opposites, first of all. So when you speak about somebody else, you probably need to know who they are. Wendy admits in that video she didn't know her. You know, she admitted that. Wendy's whole persona was hip-hop, gossip, foolery, clubbing, and all that. Yeah. And it don't take a rocket science to say when you in that kind of lifestyle, your marriage is going to be under straits. And if you ain't tight as a unit, it's probably going to fail. On the other hand, Tabitha's persona is faith, God, union, my husband. If I'm betting on these two marriages, which one is going to last, it's definitely Tabitha's. Secondly, Wendy. When she put you in your place, She done it in such a regal manner. All you should be able to sit back and do is like, honey, damn you right. Because I can't say nothing. And secondly, and more importantly, me and Larry are married to women who are in those type of positions. And we've been married for over decades with these type of women. And exactly what Tabitha said is probably what Larry went through. It's damn sure is what we went through in my household. Ebbs and flows, and we talk about things as a unit, and we make decisions as a unit. And why the hell would she want to keep putting her husband out there on them streets when an occupational hazard of his job on a day-to-day basis is death? Having said that, Larry, you get the floor first on this one.
Yeah, this is one of those things where it's just pure haterism. And because of her, and because of Wendy Williams, you know, her negative experience, everything that she hears about something like this is going to be peppered with her own personal experience. And
Larry, let me say this, Larry. Look at Wendy. Just look at her. Is she not the epitome of what we deem is issues in our damn society? First of all, it looked like she went to the same plastic surgeon that did the whole Jackson family. Then you doing gossip. Then you up here building a career on fame and fortune. And those are the things that we talk about. We don't understand how people is getting all this fame and fortune for not really being talented in anything but spilling the tea. My bad, Larry. I just had to throw that in there.
No, I think it's relevant, and part of it is that, well, here's the thing. Let me just say this. I think that she feels a certain way because she's had all kinds of issues with her relationships, but she's not taking into consideration the other parts of any relationship, which are the two people in there. For her, she was a junkie for a long time. Mm-hmm. She had all kinds of substance abuse issues, and anybody who has lived with an addict, you know, I mean, I had a stepfather years ago who was an alcoholic. Anybody who's lived with an addict knows that person is not someone that you can deal with on a regular. There's just, you can't deal with an addict. Eventually they're either going to get clean or they're going to get gone. Either you're going to leave them or they're going to leave them. That's because you can't deal with that type of craziness on a regular basis. It's not good for your health. Their craziness is not good for their own health. And so I think what happened is when she's saying, oh, well, I've dealt with this before. I've had a guy out there that when I made the money and then I told him to go do whatever you want to do, start a business, do this and that. She's probably not taking into consideration. He was also sick of your shit because you're a junkie, you know? And on top of that, like you said, Lamont, she talks crap about people for a living. She does gossip for a living. That type of stuff, when you are constantly having to dig up dirt on other people, talk crap about other people, that stuff takes a toll on you. It wears on your heart and on your soul. And if you don't have some way to cleanse yourself, it just eats at you and it starts to eat at everybody around you. And I think that's part of the problem with her and her job. It just eats at her. She probably doesn't want to have to do that for a living, but she feels like that's where her place is, and it's eating at her. And here's the thing. And this is what bothers me when she says this, and I'm glad that Tabitha is out there saying this, because there are a lot of black women out there in this world, and I'm sure there's white women out there too, but I'm talking about my black women because those are the women that I'm thinking of, and the way it is right now, there's a lot of black women out there who think, oh, I should have a dude that does everything and I shouldn't need to do anything and he should be able to support everything, and this should be, we're married and it should be all about me. I'm the bride, I'm the wife. It should be all about me. And they're not going into marriage with a realistic sense of how human beings are together. And so what you often see in other types of relationships is both black and white, is you will see people say, okay, I'm going to make a sacrifice for you in your career. And then once you get established, then I'm going to go do the thing that I wanted to do to begin with. And so that's what it sounded like she wanted to do. She wanted to act. They couldn't afford to have both of them struggling. So he went and took a job with the LAPD so they can afford to, I imagine, to keep her, you know, not working a regular full-time job that would prevent her from doing auditions and doing her YouTube channel and all the other stuff that she was doing. And so he supported her through those years. And if you listen, they said that she was supposed to be doing this for 5 years, that they were supposed to make it she was going to make it within 5 years and then allow him to leave the LAPD. It took 15. It took 3 times as long. And this brother didn't say, nah, that's okay. We're good. You know what? I gave you the 5 years. You didn't make it. Go get a regular job. I'm leaving the department. I'm going to go do something safer like teach or work in you know, whatever. I'm going to go start a little business somewhere, someplace where I may not get my head shot off every day, you know? But he didn't do that. He stayed there for 15 years so she can keep pursuing her thing. And now that she's made it, she's saying, I'm retiring my husband. There's nothing wrong with that. How many times have you heard women say, yeah, I went to work so that my husband can go to law school or medical school. And now that he's a doctor or a lawyer, I quit my job. And I do charity work, or I start a macrame business and sell stuff on Etsy or whatever. I don't know. I mean, people support their spouses all the time. When I moved out here, I moved to the East Coast. I'm from California. I love California. I don't want to live in DC. I came out here. My wife was supposed to I came out here for my wife. She was only supposed to be here for 3 years. We were only supposed to be here for 3 years. We've been here for going on 17 now. That's what happens. You support your wife. She took a job at one department with one agency with the federal government. She got a better job with a different agency. And so we're still here. That is called being married. That is called making sacrifices for the one you love. And some people don't get that. And that's often why people who don't get it have failed marriages. If you talk to someone who has a successful marriage, it's often because they made those sacrifices and they find ways to deal with those sacrifices and continue to make them. And people who don't end up with failed marriages.
Yeah. Moochie, I'm coming to you, and I'll just say this. Like Larry said, marriages in particular, but any relationship, honestly, it's a give and take. Sometimes someone's got to sacrifice and the other person doesn't, and then it vice versa is back to you. And having said that, this is your girl when she first came out, and she's a vegan. That's something that was popular on her YouTube. She did cooking, vegan cooking, and everything on her YouTube channel, you know, they was kind of faith-based. And that's why I said I just love what she said. And I'm not even one who's really into the Bible and God and all that. But the way she handled that business, ladies and gentlemen, that could be a dissertation in how you take down somebody in a professional manner with a smile on your face. I give it to you, Moochie. What do you think about it?
Okay, I'm a New Yorker, so I know Wendy from her radio days.
Okay.
And just like Whitney Houston had to get in her behind and say, watch what the F you say when she was talking about her. They had, like, if you go back and listen to her interviews, she's going back. It seemed like she's trying to go back to that person. But to me, she's bitter. This is the other bitter person I see. And I feel like you shouldn't throw rocks when your house is made of glass. And you're not the one to speak about it. Because for one, her husband wasn't the working square. Her husband was a thug that hung out in the clubs and all of that other stuff. So I'm giving you the real deal. You want the real deal? I'm giving you the real deal.
Hold on, Moochie. Larry, Moochie is just reiterating what I said. The relationships were polar opposite of each other. And if you had to bet on both relationships when they first started, which one would last, which one wasn't, Moochie, keep on going with what you're saying.
She already knew him. I don't know I think he was a party promoter or something. But at first, when she first got with him, he was her muscle. So he's a thug to me. He wasn't the working guy like that. And if my husband, which my ex-husband, he was a police officer. If I was still married or whatever the case may be, I wouldn't want him to do no job like that, risking his life every day. If I made it, I'll be like, come on, we're gonna get out. What's the business you said you wanted to do? All right, this is what we doing now. This is what you could put 100% of your time into, because I got all of these gigs and I'm getting it right now. I can handle everything. You go do you right now. With her, I feel like I got a lot to say about this because I've been watching her for the past couple of mornings and I've been seeing certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like something's gonna go left with her soon anyway. Because she's hanging out with Ray J.
Oh Lord,
and you know who was hanging out with Ray J. You know who was hanging out with Ray J before they passed away. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Who?
I mentioned her already, Whitney.
Oh, okay, that's right.
She was hanging out with him. That was the last person she was with when she passed away. And her family.
I don't want to put that on Ray J because Whitney
I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's him, but I'm just I'm not saying it's him, but I'm just the streets is talking already. The streets is talking. The streets, the blogs, everybody's talking. She looking crazy right now.
Well,
She's looking crazy right now. She's looking bitter. She's angry, and I guess she's angry about what happened where they showing the baby all over the blogs. The love child.
Baby.
What baby?
The baby that Kevin, her husband, had.
Oh.
See, I really don't do the gossip thing, but if you're gonna open that subject, I'll go there.
Oh, well, I mean,
like I said, people shouldn't throw rocks when their house is made of glass. She got a whole bunch of cracks in her window now from that comment, and I love her response. What's her name?
Tabitha Brown.
Tabitha, I loved her response because you know why? She killed her with kindness. She killed her with kindness, and that's sometimes you got to do it like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, here's the thing. It wasn't like her delivery was kind, but the word she used was cold blooded. The delivery was very kind.
The delivery was kind, and she didn't say nothing like how Erica Mena got at her. Erica Mena was threatening to beat her ass.
Oh, Kato.
So she got at her. She said something crazy about her a couple of weeks ago.
Who,
so
Wendy?
She's just Like I said, she's out order for a whole lot of stuff. Where I'm looking at her like, wow, you really gonna do that right now?
Well, yeah, see, here's part of the problem I think with a show like what Wendy Williams has and what she does is that back in the 90s or the early 2000s, I think a show like hers worked well because you can sit up there, you can talk all the crap you want, and then it sort of ended there. Like you would have like the gossip magazines like The Inquirer and People and some of the other small rags that you would find in the grocery store and, as you were checking out. But that was kind of it. Now, when you talk crap about someone with all the social media stuff, with Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and, and everything else, it just goes around the world in 30 seconds. And it hits the people that are affected by it. Because like before, Wendy Williams could have talked crap about some actor or celebrity, and they would have just laughed and said, okay, whatever, and just went about their day. Now, they're getting their phones blowing up 500 times a day with people hit. Did you hear what so-and-so said? Did you see this? Some people are forwarding them stuff. That stuff gets to people after a while because they get bombarded with it so much. And so you have someone like Erica Mena who's already, if she's anything like her persona on Love and Hip Hop, she's already pretty much a loose cannon. You talk about someone who's a loose cannon, you're likely to get your mouth busted open the next time they run into you in the club or someplace.
And that's who was running her interference, Kelvin. He was running her interference when she was going off at the radio station, and they be at Hot 97 waiting for her. Am I lying? I'm not. I know I'm not lying. There's people in New York that know the fact from Wendy back in the day. That's why Puffy ran her out of New York. She getting to the point now where I feel like she was real out of line for the country. You can't talk about people's marriage and your stuff is messed up. Your stuff is raggedy. Because you didn't have a perfect marriage. Your husband had a side piece for over 10 years. He had a side piece and bought a house with your money. So you shouldn't even have said anything. Even if your people brought this story to you, you should have said, we're not touching that right now. I don't care how juicy it was.
See, here's the thing. It's like when you hear that stuff, you feel bad, like that's messed up, it shouldn't happen. But we don't know you never really know what's happening in other people's marriages. And you still cannot put aside the fact that Wendy Williams for a long time was a junkie. And junkies do stuff to you inside of those relationships. If you've ever dealt with a junkie, they say things and they do things that for them, they can put aside after they get sober and say, oh, well, that wasn't really me. I was high. I was drunk. They weren't sober. And they can put that aside and just say, this isn't really me. I'm the real me now that I'm clean. But as a person who had to experience that, you remember, you're like, nah, that was you, motherfucker. I was right there. You could say that wasn't you, but you did that shit to me. And you don't always want to put that aside because you're like, nah, that happened. You can just try and say it wasn't me, but that happened. And so I think oftentimes people want to just say, oh, well, I was wronged by this guy who did all this stuff. Well, we don't know what happened. You might have been an asshole to him every day. He might have had a side piece because you were basically tormenting him every day. I'm not really saying that's an excuse, but some people don't have the same ethics and morality that other people do. And so for them to get a side piece may be a reasonable option to leaving their marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You heard the term a drunk person speak a sober mind?
Yeah.
That's all her. Now the question is she getting high now? I'll leave it at that.
Ladies and gentlemen, comment below if you enjoyed my The Fuck of the Week, and we will give you the outro because this Wendy Williams has won the very first The Fuck of the Week.
Hi, little girl. You're so cute. Is your mommy home?
Bitch, I am my own mommy, the fuck? Bitch, you just heard me, the fuck you got going on? Your ugly ass milk trying to poison me and shit. I don't know where the fuck you got that milk from. Definitely ain't I no fucking cow.
It came from Wendy's mouth. How about that?